Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So first of all, I apologize for missing the last 2 days. I was supposed to post this video on Monday, and then I was going to do a few other things on that day and also yesterday. Actually, I do want to do the Q&As. I want to bring those back. So if you guys can post some questions for this week's Q&A, post them down below. I'll post that Q&A tomorrow. Just have it all related to episode 11. I think I'm going to do it that way. I'll ask for more questions in like my review videos or in something like that, a review video or trailer video or something. And then I'll post that Q&A every Wednesday, at least for the rest of the season, and also for World Beyond. What I want to talk about in this video is all of the teasers. I'm just going to combine it all in one video. I want to talk about Negan trying to convince Alpha that maybe we shouldn't try to kill Alexandria and the Hilltop. Maybe we should try to get them to bend the knee. And I also want to talk about where Negan is going to stand in this fight because it's a very tricky situation for him. We also have another teaser of the actual battle starting, so I want to talk about that and what I think the ending to this episode is going to be, because I think I have a pretty good idea just because of what we see in the opening minutes, and also because episode 12 is supposed to be a battle episode as well, right? So I want to talk about that and also the opening minutes because we got a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, I'm combining all of it in here. Before we jump in, I do have to warn you for spoilers for season 10, episode 9 and 10. Did I get that right? Yeah. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. Things are really ramping up right now. I can see the excitement just on my channel alone. I can see a lot of excitement in the fan base. People are really hyped for the battle to Hilltop. People are just hyped in general to see how this Whisperer War arc is going to end, how the Whisperer arc in general is going to end, and also how Michonne's going to leave, how is Megan coming back, just really how the rest of the season unfolds. And so if you want to get my reviews and discussions on all of that, just make sure to be a subscriber. Now, what I want to talk about is a scene that we got, and it's Negan trying to convince Alpha to not kill Alexandria and the Hilltop. And I think the first thing that comes to mind to me personally is that it's because of Judith. Because, I mean, obviously he doesn't want Judith to get hurt, and I think to Negan, there is actual people in there that he does care about, right? Though that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that Negan only cares right now because of Judith, and it is very possible. It's possible that that is what it is. Like, we have no evidence right now that Negan is, you know, he's working with Carol or he's working with Daryl or someone else. We have no evidence of that. I mean, the question was raised earlier in the season. We never got that reveal yet. I really do think it probably is Daryl. And the only reason why I have that feeling, I know a lot of people think it's going to be Carol, but the only reason why I have that feeling it's going to be Daryl is just because he's been so quiet on the Negan situation. Like, he hasn't been out there trying to look for him as much. You know what I mean? Yeah, Carol really wants Alpha dead, but Carol kind of wants to do it herself. And I think if Negan was the one to kill Alpha, I actually think Carol would be pretty pissed off about that. At least that's my take on that. Like, I don't think she's going to be as happy, you know, about it as we're thinking she's going to be, because I think she wants to be the one to do it. I think she will take that head probably as a souvenir. I don't know what they're going to do with that character at that point, but I think Carol wants to be the one to do it, and that's why she's going out. If you think about it, Daryl's been kind of quiet about the whole thing surrounding Negan. Yeah, he went out there to go look for him and stuff, but he wasn't really looking. He never really cared to. He didn't put that much effort in there. He didn't want to put these search parties out. And you know what I mean? I feel like he could be someone that knows about what's really going on. Thus why Negan is actually doing this, because, you know, he knows where Daryl stands, and like, he knows where their relationship is. He knows the history, and he's like, if I can do this for Daryl, that could be really good, because that means I could probably be out of my cell potentially and spending way more time with Judith and just, you know, really just rebuilding my life. So it's kind of interesting that we're getting a little bit of this in this episode, which makes sense because that moment is coming up right away. But to see it at this point here, yeah, I mean, he's in a very tricky place, because where does Negan stand in this fight? Because he's actually going to be going to battle. At least I think the episode 12 synopsis says that Negan is going to help them in battle or lead them into battle or something like that. And so what does he do when he gets there? Because he can't kill anyone. Otherwise, like, that, there goes his redemption. Doesn't matter if he kills a side character or anything. He still killed a person, a part of Hilltop. Like, people in Hilltop will just riot if Negan was just allowed back in Alexandria. Same thing goes for Alexandria. Same thing, just, you know, in general. Negan can't actually do anything. If he actually tries to destroy the Hilltop in any way, like shoot a fire arrow, which I don't think he will, or just anything like that, it's just going to look really bad. I'm sure if he just like hit a wall or looked like he destroyed a wall down, that wouldn't really be the end of the world, because Daryl might be a bit more understanding as to what's going on. I also do wonder if we're going to get that reveal in episode 12, if that's going to be the big reveal of that episode, that Daryl and Negan were working together and somehow they kill Alpha or something. I don't know. I can't wait to see Daryl and Negan back together though. I hope that's the big thing for episode 12. I hope we get Negan, Daryl, and Beta just on the battlefield. That's gonna be nuts. Can you imagine Negan with Lucille fighting? I guess he wouldn't be fighting Daryl, but fighting Beta, and then Daryl, I guess he wouldn't have his crossbow. I don't know. That would just be an epic fight. That would be kind of scary, though. I do think for moments like that, if we're expecting to get anything like that, we're going to have to wait until episode 12, because based off of what they've released for 11, I think there's going to be some bigger moments that happen like at the end of the episode. And I think I know how the episode's going to end. We'll talk about that in a second. But I don't think any moment like that is necessarily going to happen. I think that's going to be an episode 12 thing for sure. 11 really is just all of the setup. And then all of those big moments like that, like Beta versus Negan, or Daryl and Negan versus Beta, or maybe Alpha versus Carol if Alpha's going to be on the battlefield. We have no idea if she's going to be. Anything like that where it's really chaotic and there's an actual battle going on, that's going to be, I think that's going to take place in episode 12. The standoff and stuff is going to be 11. I think it's going to end in a crazy way where the battle's beginning, and it's just going to, yeah, it'll be a pretty epic cliffhanger. But let's talk about the other teaser first before we get into that, because it is related. We see how this battle starts. It's actually an electric fence. I'm actually really interested in seeing what they do battle strategy wise. Like, do they have that electric fence all around the hilltop? They probably don't. What sides do they have the fence up, and how do they know the Whisperers were coming from that area and stuff? I hope they mention little things like that. But this seems to be phase 1 of the battle. Like, as we know in the trailer, we see Aaron say formation, or yells formation. That'll happen around here as the walkers are coming closer. They know that the Whisperers definitely don't stand a chance against them. Like, they really don't. Their ammunition, the reason why they're a big threat is because they have so many walkers. It really is as simple as that. So they gotta get rid of those walkers. And that's the scary thing about dealing with a Whisperer, right? Or just with that threat in general. You see all these walkers coming towards you. You don't know which one's a real walker or not. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you're going to kill all of them anyways, but you don't know which one's going to come at you and just like stab you or you know what I mean? So having this electric fence up, I really love that idea. It probably came from Eugene, but I think just seeing this scene here proves that the battle is happening a lot sooner than we're thinking. I actually think it's going to be split pretty much 50-50. Like half the episode is going to be Eugene speaking with Stephanie. We're going to learn her name and stuff like that. We're going to get some other things with Alpha and Negan, some stuff with Daryl arriving back to the hilltop. Like, all of that will be the first half. And then the second half, I think, is going to start with this electric fence scene. And we'll continue from there once the Whisperers actually get closer and closer. Now, the opening minutes to episode 12 actually shows Beta and a few other Whisperers collecting sap from trees. And I'm guessing this is going to be because of, and I'm wondering why. Now, I'm not an expert in what sap is really used for. I feel like it's used for glue and stuff, and maybe I guess it's like an adhesive, or yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that it can be used in that way. So I think that's how they're using it. And I actually think it's going to be related to the ending of episode 11, which is going to be the fire arrows. I think they're going to have this sap, or they're going to do something with it anyways, and they're going to have fire arrows like we see here in the trailer. And this will be how episode 11 is going to end, in my opinion. I think it's going to end with the hilltop on fire. It just seems very tragic. The battle is starting. The Whisperers are now attacking the hilltop, and everything's just very chaotic. Because a lot of what we got in the trailer for episode 11, and just other things in general, like with the sneak peeks and like the opening minutes and everything, there's not a lot of footage of an actual battle going on, just them like getting ready to battle. And so I think that's how it's going to end, because like we know episode 12 is going to be another battle episode. It's the same battle though, just based off the synopsis. We know there's going to be a battle there, but if we see them getting ready to go to battle in episode 11, how do they, like, like where do they make the cut in the story to have it make sense? Well, I think if they show up with fire arrows, they're not expecting that, and then the hilltop goes on fire, that completely ruins their plans. They're all scattered everywhere trying to defeat walkers and Whisperers, and also save the people that are inside the hilltop, right? Because there's actual families that live there and stuff, so they're dealing with that because everything's on fire. That's the perfect way to end episode 11. That's a really crazy cliffhanger. Because this is the opening minutes and we see Beta collecting sap from the trees, I feel like that's kind of related. I think we'll look back at this episode and at that moment in the beginning of the episode and be like, oh, so that's what they were foreshadowing with that. That's what was going to happen. That's why Beta was doing that in the beginning. Overall, I'm very, very hyped. I really am just super hyped. I think episode 11, it's going to be the start of just this amazing run of episodes. I really like 9 and 10. I actually really, really like 10. 9 I did like too. Definitely my favorite episode of the season at that point. But 10 was definitely a lot better, like by far. 10 was much better. I really loved Beta and Alexandria, all of that. Just absolutely amazing. But I think 11 on is it's just going to be chaotic. I think this is the Whisperer War. We are now in this arc. Like, this is where the payoff is going to start happening. We've been waiting since season 9, episode 6, since Eugene and Rosita first saw the Whisperers, for this arc to pay off, and this is where all the payoff is. Like, we're at the ending now. But post all your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys are all thinking. Where do you think Negan is going to side in the Whisperer War? I think we all know for the most part, but how do you think he's going to handle it? How do you think he's going to fool Alpha still and also still fight in this war for the Whisperers? And also, why do you think Beta is collecting tree sap, and how do you think episode 11 is going to end? How do you think they're going to transition into having episode 12 also a battle episode? Because if episode 11 is the start of the battle and we're getting actual footage from the battle, it's not just like the episode's going to end and they're, or we see Aaron yell formation and then the episode ends. No, we're seeing way more than that. We're seeing the walkers come with the electric fence. We're actually seeing a lot more for this battle. Do you think it's going to end with the Hilltop catching on fire? Post all your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys are all thinking. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and thanks for watching.